So we actually started this podcast. You notice the first minute is different to the rest. We were going to talk about sliding doors moments and leaning into it, but we actually ended up on trying to unpack guarantees, what they stand for, and how to go about them.
Yeah, as you said, unexpected tangent took us to the world of guarantees. Now, I've in the coaching I've done, I've been asked about guarantees and how to handle it for a very long time. Both when we have a guarantee and they ask for it, how do I present it without us being desperate? And secondly, what happens if we don't have a guarantee? So I talked about my lived experience selling offers with and without guarantees, and then how I think about making decisions, spoiler alert, likelihood, probability, high level possibility over ironclad guarantees and certainty. So we really unpacked that, gave some examples, very timely and relevant with your current business, James, because you have a guarantee which you talked about on your personal business that you have. I think a lot of people will get a lot out of this because I don't think this is a topic that's been covered much by other people in the sales world that I've seen. So I think this could be a lot of new learnings for the viewers.
I think one thing we could do on another call as well is kind of unpack what we briefly touched on at the end, as in what the guarantee stands for and the other ways that you can go about it. But this was a fun call. It was a fun session, and hopefully you enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe that's a bit of a topic, as in leaning into the sliding doors moments and not knowing where they're going to lead you, but knowing it could lead to an awful lot more opportunities.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's that way of thinking, and I actually sell my packages this way as well. You'll hear a lot of sales managers or sales trainers or gurus say something like, you need to give them certainty that it's going to get better with you. Like the key word is certainty. I actually typically reject that as a premise because, well, firstly, it's almost always dishonest in the sense that there's really no certainty in anything. And I like to... So firstly, I recognize that as a start point. So I like to talk likelihoods and probabilities because A, it's more honest, and B, it actually feels more exciting, I think. Because it doesn't put a cap on what can happen here. It leaves the door open for something bigger and better or adjacent to happen. And I really like that feeling, and it's more honest as well. So like when you came to Guatemala and visited me 6 years ago, both at different stages of our life, pre, the world shutdown and all that sort of stuff, you didn't come because you were promised an outcome. Our conversations leading to you getting on a plane and coming and staying at my house weren't, I guarantee, James, if you come here, you're going to ABC, XYZ. Like, that didn't even enter the conversation. And had you looked for any guarantees, I wouldn't have given you one. I would have said, well, listen, here's what I do guarantee. When you arrive, I'll pick you up at the airport and you can stay at my house. And Antigua's a beautiful place and almost everybody loves it. But in terms of what we do day to day and the conversations we have and where that takes you and what you start appreciating and seeing on the back of that, I don't know. I can talk about likelihoods and possibilities and probabilities, but until the rubber hits the road, you just don't know. And if you were a certain type of person, the sort of person I want to be around, and the sort of person I want to sell to, you would firstly recognize that's honest compared to the alternative. And secondly, you should find that exciting as well. And thirdly, it gets you to buy into the fact that you've got to do your part as well, which are all ingredients that's the sort of person I want to be selling to. And it's the sort of person I want to be around in my life as well. So when you look at it through that lens, words like certainty and guaranteed and give me all the details before I decide usually go away. I've found that to be the case.
I think there's a time for it. So, for example, I've just got off a call. So with our products that we sell, we offer a guarantee because we know it's going to work. And I think in an industry where most people have been lied to, caught with something that's not legitimate, we offered a guarantee because we know the product will do exactly what we say it'll do, and it's added a level of certainty. But we're talking about a product, whereas if you're selling something informational where it is reliant on that individual doing their part, you can't really offer guarantees. You can offer a guarantee that, or at least suggest that if you were to follow everything that we say, implement it as you're instructed to, there is an incredibly high probability that you will move from where you are to a state closer to where you want to be. But at the end of the day, if you and I go through the same course and then we take a dozen other people of varying different backgrounds and abilities and everything like that, that same guarantee does not apply to every situation.
Yeah, but I mean, your guarantee is conditional because you said it yourself. If you do everything we tell you to do, or words to that effect, like if you put it in the right size room with the right temperature, with the right space between machines, I'm making stuff up, but you know the details. If you plug it into the right socket with the right voltage going through, if you adhere to the maintenance schedule, like there's quite a lot of conditions there. So if any of those conditions are not met, which is possible, the guarantee is null and void. You can often do that in services as well, but the problem is you're dealing with another person, and they are the biggest variable. So I can say to you, listen, James, I know you don't speak Spanish and I speak it. Now, I guarantee if you log on for 2 hours every day with me for the next 3 years and you pay 100% attention and do everything I say, then I do guarantee you will learn Spanish. But that's such a big ask from your end. In order for me to execute that guarantee, it's such a big ask, and you're not going to sign up to that. So the deal's not going to happen if you require a guarantee to happen, because you're just not going to sign away 3 years of your life, 2 hours per day. So in order to bring a real guarantee, it's often unrealistic. I had this conversation in the coaching group this morning as well. You know, every time we get in our car and drive down to the supermarket and come back, there is no guarantee we're actually coming back intact. There is always a chance, albeit small, that we may have an accident, or there may be a demonstration that blocks our passage on the way back. But the likelihood and probability that will happen is very low, and it's so low that you actually get in the car and go down to the supermarket. But it's not guaranteed, and the only way to guarantee it, you'd need a police escort, you'd need the roads cleared, you'd need a driver. It's just unrealistic. So if you literally required a guarantee to get in your car down to the supermarket, you would never go. So we do make decisions based on likelihood and probabilities. Admittedly, it's like 99.9, like all day, every day, and it's the only way to move. Like you're frozen, you can't move if you require an ironclad guarantee for absolutely everything. So I recognize totally there are exceptions, but effectively what you're guaranteeing in that instance, you're still not guaranteeing it will work. You're just guaranteeing that you will cover the loss if it doesn't work, which is actually a different conversation. So you're outsourcing. You're not guaranteeing the outcome. You're guaranteeing they won't be out of pocket if the outcome doesn't happen, and that's different. Because the only way you could guarantee the outcome would be if you went down and installed it, and you went down and sent your maintenance team there every day to make sure the power was unrealistic. You're not going to accept that deal, and they might not want that either because it's intrusive. Your team turns up every day and spends 10 minutes in there, and they're like, you know what I mean? So like, that's why I don't like guarantees. Recognizing there are exceptions, but the guarantee is often not for the positive outcome. It's to protect you from the downside if it doesn't work, which is different.
All right. So I'm not opposed to guarantee. I don't like guarantees in informational products,
yes,
or transformational products. There's no way that you can guarantee it. However, I do think guarantees applicable in, if we go for the remote sales world, maybe we look at those kind of ROI offers, because so many people have been completely ripped. But again, if we pull at that thread, the last ROI offer had a guarantee, and when push came to shove, that guarantee was not worth even close to what it was. And I think with my company, when I offer a guarantee, I mean it, as in, if it does not do what we say it will do within the first month, we'll either A, remedy it at our expense, or B, we will refund you money and come and pick it up for free. And we mean that. And I know that is 100% backed.
Yes.
And I had the conversation with a prospect not long before this, and I just said the only way that this does not work is, and it has to be so astronomical, as in there is something so unknown to everyone in there, which is 99.99% impossible, but not impossible.
Sure.
In which case we would fix it. But again, the guarantees, I think if it's not your company, it's very hard to offer that guarantee knowing that it will be fulfilled, which is hard to say. But I feel like this is, I feel like this call has gone from sliding doors moments in life to how to increase someone's certainty and add a higher probability of confidence.
I think you're right, but I think we lean into it because guarantees. I get questions about guarantees. I've had questions about guarantees for years in coaching, so I think we make it a guarantees focused call. But even okay, so with guarantees, you made a good point. Half the guarantees are not worth the paper they're written on. I'm literally coaching this morning, the guys were talking about an offer that they're on. There's a couple on that offer. And the country where the offer is out of is not the same country where the vast majority of clients join up from. And the reality is, if there were an issue from the client's perspective, they'd have to go through the courts of a foreign country, and they're probably not going to do that. And it's probably in the too hard basket. And there may be different laws in that country. So is it a real guarantee? So that's number one. Often the guarantee isn't worth the paper it's written on. Sometimes it is, but it often isn't. And secondly, we sort of covered this earlier, but I want to go back over it because it's an important point. What are you actually guaranteeing? So most people, when they hear the word guarantee, they think guarantee it will work. But the guarantee isn't that. The guarantee is if it doesn't work, we'll refund your money. So the guarantee is actually you won't be out of pocket for the investment. You'll be able to get your money back, but it still never worked. But then there's other out-of-pocket expenses as well, because if it took me 3 months to realize it doesn't work, there's opportunity costs. For those 3 months, I got no clients because I couldn't utilize the asset you gave me. I lost the opportunity to buy your competitors, and they've now doubled in price. Like, are you going to compensate me for that as well? So, like, I am still massively out of pocket, and it never worked. So it's still like a really bad outcome.
Do you know what's funny?
With your guarantee, you go and pick. Just finish that point, and then you want to jump in.
It's exactly on this point. It's exactly on this point. So
Go.
this is how we actually changed the guarantee. So it was probably 3 or 4 months ago. We were having a chat to the customer, and it was if it doesn't do everything that we say it'll do, we'll come and we'll refund your money and come and pick it up for free. And the customer said, "Well, what am I meant to do then? I've changed the configurations of everything to suit your design. Then what? You just come and pick it up, and now I'm kind of stuck." And then there was this light bulb of like, I mean, well, if it didn't work, our first step would be to remedy the situation at our expense as number one. That seems like a much better guarantee than having to just leave them high and dry with no product to fulfill the service.
Yes.
I mean, we've never had anyone fulfill it anyway because we
Sure.
size everything right. But that was exactly what you said. Just leave them high and dry.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like, imagine if I remember about 15 years ago when I was back here in Australia, I went to a friend's wedding, and I was best man in the wedding. And I still got the pictures, and it's like, oof. Because I went to a hairdresser near my parents' house that I'd never been to before, and they did a really bad job. And I was so peed off with them, I didn't want to go back and get them to fix it. Had a wedding in 3 days. And I just went to a guy that I went to forever, but he was a bit of a drive away, and I went where I should have gone the second time. He fixed it, but in order to fix it, because obviously I couldn't grow my hair back in 3 days, it was like a really short haircut. So it was cut well, but it was short. It was almost like a crew cut. And it was too short. There's nothing more the hairdresser could have done. So I went to the wedding, and I see the wedding photos, and it's short. It's really short, and it doesn't look great. But in that regard, a guarantee by the hairdresser, the first one, was of no value to me because I've got a wedding in 3 days. I don't want the money back. Like, I don't care about the money. I just want a half decent haircut. The only thing you can do now to rectify it is to cut it again, which is going to give me not the haircut I asked for and significantly shorter because you have no other option. And so I'm totally unsatisfied either way. So I've got to make a decision before I go into a guy. Is it likely and probable, based on what I can see or my past experiences, that I'm going to get the haircut I want? Because if I don't, no matter what, I'm going to be unsatisfied. Whether I get my money back for free or he cuts it again the next day, either way, it's not what I'm after. It's an unsatisfactory outcome. It's less unsatisfactory than the alternative, but it's still unsatisfactory. So it's on me to do my due diligence and use my judgment and experience to make the right choice, acknowledging I'm going to get it wrong from time to time. But, more often than not, I'll make the right choice. So I don't really like outsourcing that responsibility. I like putting that responsibility back onto the prospect. So I'll say to them, listen, James, I get you've got a specific criteria. You've made that clear what that is. You and I have been speaking for 20 minutes now. Knowing that there's no guarantee, this is a conversation and a decision about likelihoods and probabilities. I mean, what's your read? What's your gut feel? Are you liking what you see? You're not liking what you see? Are there red flags? Are there no red flags? Let's talk. And I'll help them work through that decision-making process until they have clarity. And when they have clarity, then it's, what do you want to do? And it's asked to buy from me, or there's an issue. We see if we can work through that issue. If we can, it comes alive again. If it doesn't, it's over. Or they literally say, listen, Michael, this just isn't the offer for me. I'll unpack that, how and why they said that, in a non-aggressive, confrontational way. If I think I've got an angle to try and move them, I'll play it. If it's like this, the fit's clearly not here and I don't think I can fix that, or maybe I don't even want to, then it's over. But I don't sell off guarantees. But I understand how and why some people want them and sell off them, but I don't at all. And if I was on an offer that had a guarantee, I'd keep it in my back pocket. I'd only pull it out in emergencies, but I'd try and sell the offer without the guarantee. I just think it attracts a better client, and it's a more honest conversation. And if someone said, "Do you have a guarantee?" I would ask them. Firstly, I'd ask them why they're asking for that, and is it essential? And secondly, I say, what sort of guarantee you're after? A guarantee that you'll get the outcome you said, or a guarantee you're protected if you don't get the outcome that you asked, or something else? Because it's a different conversation depending on what they're looking for. So these are some additional things to think about for our viewers who are going, "Oh my God, I didn't realize guarantees are so complex." They don't have to be, but I think if you can look at them and break them apart, you can really get to an advantageous position as a salesperson. And as a buyer, you can potentially help yourself make decisions in a different way, which can benefit you as well. Because if you're always after an ironclad guarantee in anything you do, you're going to move slow, and often you're not going to move at all. And the guy that doesn't do that, he's not necessarily cavalier. He just learns to trust his judgment. He learns to ask better questions. He learns to ask for other forms of verification or trust or truth. He's probably going to move faster and probably going to make more things happen, and they'll probably get to a better place on the back of that. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I like the way you put it. You articulated it really well. I think one thing that was interesting is you're not guaranteeing the product or whatever will do what you say it'll do. It's just that you won't be out of pocket if it doesn't.
That's right, which is a very different conversation. Because look at you and I travel a bit. Let's say that you've planned this amazing 2-week trip in Italy, and you've only got 2 weeks off, and you get to the airport and the flight's cancelled, and they're like, "Oh, but we'll refund your ticket." You're like, "Yeah, but this is my 2 weeks of the year. Everything's planned. My friends are waiting for me in Italy. Like, I got one chance to do this. I don't want your money. I want to be in Italy with my friends." So like the 3,000 refund you offered me, I don't want that. I want this once in a lifetime chance with my friends. It's like your guaranteed refund doesn't mean anything to me.
I suppose if we pull at that thread a little bit more, it kind of comes down to what are we trying to do with a guarantee? We're trying to instill a level of confidence or remove a level of doubt from the prospect. And if we're trying to do that, what are the other ways we can do that? I think one, through social proof, as in this many people it has worked for. But I've been, I don't know about you, but I've been looking at pool fencing because we're getting the pool put in. And there's one website in particular.
Was that a humble brag? Was that a humble brag?
No.
No,
not at all.
Just
To
checking.
be honest,
just
if anyone
checking.
were to say they want to install a pool, I would just say get ready, because it is not actually that much. It's a pretty awful process to go through. Anyway, that's a whole other story. And just looking at the website, some of the reviews on there, terrible, like so clearly fake. But it's on most of the products.
And you went with those guys?
I know people that have bought through them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would your review be if you were reviewing tomorrow? Would it be positive or negative?
I mean, I haven't got I bought through 2 different companies because 2 different types. One of them came in 2 days. The other one is coming on Tuesday. Pretty great experiences thus far with both of them.
Is that 2 different companies? Themselves. 2 different companies because your pool is so big it needs 2 batches of inventory to like fully cover it?
No.
Okay.
Glass along the side, so you can clearly see if anyone's in there, and just kind of add to the aesthetics, and then just kind of it drops off the concrete and then to a certain part of the yard that'll just be aluminium. Yep.
But yeah, I think
I can actually do one of these podcasts from the pool when it's finished. If that's
nice, no, that'll be lovely. I'll do it from one of my friends' multi-million-dollar mansions in Guatemala when I'm back. If you like, you've seen some of those. So I think there's 2 key points that we want to extract. Maybe you've got more, but I'm thinking there's 2 key points we want to extract from this. Firstly, guarantee. What are we guaranteeing? Because it's a different conversation if we're guaranteeing an outcome, and it's often very, very, very hard to do when there's other factors in play that you don't directly control, i.e. the other person, which on any done with you offer, any coaching offer, they are a mega, mega, mega factor. I can't control you. I can't assure that you're going to turn up every day. I can't assure that you're going to listen to what I tell you. I mean, we can talk likelihoods and probabilities, but I can't guarantee it. So there's that. what are we guaranteeing is the question. Outcome or some form of compensation if it doesn't play out the way we all hope it plays out. Again, different conversation depending on which one. And the second thing is you as a salesperson and getting more comfortable with the lack of certainty and making decisions based off likelihoods, probabilities, high level possibilities, and then helping the prospect that you're speaking to come to that place as well, because that might not be their start point, but there is a way, and it's outside the scope of this call because it will take too long, but there is a way to help prospects realize that and then accept that and embrace that as well. And now you're having a very different conversation because now two people are having a conversation about likelihoods and probabilities and certain criterias, which is very different to one saying, I want a guarantee, and the other saying, we've got this guarantee. It's a very different conversation, and you'll attract a very different sort of person and get very different outcomes from that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, I reckon we tie a bow on this one. This was fun.
Yeah.
Not where we expected to go, but
No.
I'm glad it's actually made me think about the way I'm positioning with my company and everything like that. And I'll peel it back.
Yeah. For our viewers, this is absolutely unscripted. A, we didn't know what we were going to talk about, and B, the first 20 seconds of this call was talking about something else, and then, of course, tangent came, and now we just unpacked the world of guarantees.
Awesome. All right, I'll see you on the next one.
See you next week.